Hey guys, let's get more news about Lakers, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Lakers news, JJ Redick on plan for LeBron James and Anthony Davis in back-to-backs. The Los Angeles Lakers will only go as far as LeBron James and Anthony Davis take them, as the two superstars are the pillars for the team on both ends of the floor. Head coach JJ Redick aced his first test as an NBA head coach after he picked up his first career win, and he did it by putting James and Davis in good positions to make plays against the Minnesota Timberwolves. Davis, in particular, had a strong first game of the 2024-25 season as he led all scorers with 36 points, perhaps a sign of things to come as Redick emphasized his desire to feature him on the offensive end. Los Angeles was afforded a couple of days of rest after beating Minnesota, but will return to action on Friday to host the Phoenix Suns. However, they won't get a chance to relax, as they'll immediately turn around and play a home game against the Sacramento Kings on Saturday to complete their first back-to-back set of the season. When asked whether or not he'll rest either James or Davis on the second nights of a back-to-back this season, Redick said that the decision will depend on how the two stars feel on a night-to-night basis. "It's all in real time," Redick said. "How do they feel when they get up on Saturday morning?" The Lakers understand the need to be cautious with James and Davis given their collective injury histories as well as the heavy minutes they've played thus far in their careers. The duo also had a shorter offseason after spending the summer playing for USA Basketball in the 2024 Olympics in Paris, so that's another thing to consider when managing their workloads. However, there might be more urgency from Redick and the coaching staff to play their stars early on in the year to bank wins instead of chasing after them toward the end of the regular season. The past 2 years the Lakers have had to fight and claw their way into the playoffs, so trying to win as many games as early as possible could actually end up allowing James and Davis more rest down the line. Bronny James already holds hilarious NBA record after just one game played for Los Angeles Lakers. Just one game into what he hopes will be a long and fruitful NBA career, Bronny James already holds an all-time league record. Bronny, the son of Los Angeles Lakers superstar LeBron James, made his debut alongside his father in LA's 110-103 victory over the Minnesota Timberwolves on Tuesday. Bronny shot .042 with 0 points, 0 assists, and 1 rebound in 3 minutes and finished the game as a -5 in the box score. But by simply stepping on the court, he also became one half of the NBA's all-time leading scorers among father-son duos. Raiders tight end Darren Waller is very excited about Raiders season. Raiders tight end Darren Waller has since shut down the rumors and is very excited about the Raiders' future after the team's big offseason moves. Bronny and LeBron have a combined 40,490 points scored in the NBA. Bronny has contributed precisely 0 of those points. But it's still enough to put the duo more than 1,500 points ahead of Kobe and Joe Bryant and more than 4,000 points in front of Steph and Del Curry. The NBA doesn't lack for impressive father-son duos either. There's Michael and Klay Thompson, who have a combined 6 NBA championships between them. Rick Brunson had a decade-long NBA career, while his son Jalen is now a superstar for the New York Knicks. The same goes for Tim Hardaway and Tim Hardaway Jr., who is a veteran wing that was named first-team All-Rookie in 2014. You would think that some father-son duo would have outdone LeBron and Bronny. But it just goes to show how incredible the elder James has been in his over 20-year career. Last season, LeBron passed Kareem Abdul-Jabbar as the NBA's all-time leading scorer. It takes unbelievable drive, dedication, and talent to survive in the NBA long enough to rack up that number of points when the average NBA career lasts only 4.5 years, Kareem wrote after the fact. LeBron James is undeniably one of one. Because of that, his son Bronny both got a chance to play in the NBA and already co-holds a legitimate NBA record. Lakers Insider speculates on what team will do with D'Angelo Russell. Los Angeles Lakers guard D'Angelo Russell saw his name get thrown around in multiple reports in the months leading up to the start of the 2024-25 regular season. First, the Lakers reportedly offered to trade him to the Golden State Warriors in an attempt to land Klay Thompson, who ended up getting dealt to the Dallas Mavericks in a sign-and trade. Furthermore, ESPN's Tim Bontemps reported in September that the Lakers do not view him as part of their core moving forward. I mean, at the end of the day, if the Lakers are going to be the championship contending team that people want them to be, you have to have, in theory what they really need to do is turn D'Angelo Russell into a guy who can both hit threes and guard, Bontemps said. Austin Reaves is a guy they see clearly as a guy who's part of their core going forward. D'Angelo Russell is not, which is why he was on this 2-year makeshift deal in the first place. It's why he opted into his contract this summer, because he knew there wasn't going to be a big market for his services. Someone asked The Athletic's Jovan Buha after Los Angeles' season opener against the Minnesota Timberwolves if the Lakers will deal Russell, and he provided the following response. "I think it's too early I don't want to overreact to this game in any direction," Buha said. "I think if anything, this game was just a confirmation of a lot of what we already knew and saw. So, I would assume that the plan is still to at least explore the D'Lo situation down the road. But I don't know if his game necessarily swayed it really in either direction. I think it's always kind of been if they're gonna make a trade, he's the one guy. Now, one thing I will say on this is obviously if the Lakers get out to a really good start and are just a really good team, it could go one of two ways, right? You could look at it as, do we want to break this group up? Is it worth it? Or you could look at, okay, well we're in a position to potentially contend, to compete for a championship. And now let's do that win-now trade. Let's take the big swing. Let's put the first-round pick, or both first-round picks, on the table. So, could go one of two ways. I think at a minimum, if they are looking really good and this continues, then I think you have to at least think about attaching a first-round pick to a guy like Gabe, Vincent, Vondo, Jared Vanderbilt, depending on where he's at with his injury progress. Maybe look at some of the bench guys and say, can we upgrade with the pick and bring in another piece? And maybe you keep D'Lo or you shift his role depending on the type of player you bring in. So that's one thing, but for now, I don't think this really swings the D'Lo conversation either way. The Lakers beat the Timberwolves on Tuesday, but Russell looked rusty from a scoring standpoint. He finished with 9 points on 4 of 12 shooting from the field and 1 of 7 from three-point range. There is still one positive takeaway to glean from Russell's showing, however, and that was his impact as a playmaker. Russell dished out a team-high 5 assists while committing only 1 turnover. He was one of the Lakers' best playmakers last season, considering he averaged 6.3 assists per game. Russell will try to find his footing on the offensive end in Los Angeles' upcoming matchup against Kevin Durant and the Phoenix Suns on Friday night. The Suns played their season opener on Wednesday, and they beat the Los Angeles Clippers by 3 points in overtime behind 49 combined points from Durant and Bradley Beal. Perhaps the Suns are an ideal team for Russell to regain his rhythm against, as Phoenix's starting point guard, Tyus Jones, is undersized and not exactly renowned for his presence on the defensive side of the ball. He's quite the talented offensive player though, so Russell will have his hands full trying to keep him in check as a playmaker. Expect to see Russell connected to other teams in trade rumors once the trade deadline starts to draw near. Fans of the Lakers shouldn't be shocked if he isn't a member of the squad by the end of the season. And you fan? What do you think of the situation of D'Angelo Russell? Leave your opinion in the comments.